Hey y'all, what's happening? So I just want to talk about two performances from Self-Made, the Inspired by story by Madam C.J. Walker. So, starting with Octavia Spencer, um, I was very with her. I enjoyed her transparency, her vulnerability. I really believed her. I felt sorry for her, compassion for her. I liked how she um, gave over to her vulnerability as an actor. I like how she gave over to her the very steadfast determination of Madam C.J. Walker's spirit as an entrepreneur. How she was kind of like a little reluctant to to sell the product. She was kind of scared because it was new for her, but then she pushed past her fear and used her personal testimony um, as a way to draw in potential customers and somehow and connect it to the product of Eddie Monroe's product. So I really enjoyed um, Octavia Spencer's performance. Like, it was very grounded, it felt very truthful. Um, However, hey, Poppy. um, but I was very, Blair Underwood's performance grabbed me most of all because, I liked his, nuances. I liked the colors, the dimension he illustrated in his acting. When he showed this duality of vulnerability at the same time cussing her out or using profanity because he was like livid that she wouldn't take him back. Almost like shocked that she wouldn't take him back because I guess he called himself being sincere in his apology, and he appears sincere, but it was a wrap for him because he betrayed her, with another woman. Then he kind of betrayed her, or he sabotaged her business connection with those white investors. Um, yeah, but Blair, not that I've always thought Blair was a strong actor, but I've I've never been like engrossed in his performance like I have with him portraying C.J. Walker. He was so strong and like um just the choices he made were just so memorable and so impactful. Even more so, I don't want to compare him and Octavia because that's not fair because she's a woman, he's a man. They're playing different characters. But I just feel like he just brought so much to it, so much complexity to his interpretation, humor. Um, and I felt like, I kind of felt bad. Like, he was going back and forth. Like, it felt like she didn't really appreciate his contribution. But yeah, so those two. Oh, Garrett Morris. Or is it Garrett Morgan? What is it? Is it Poppy? Is it Garrett Morgan or Garrett Morris from Cooley High and Martin Lawrence? I think it's Morgan. Anyhow, I loved his performance too as CJ's Walker's father. The monologue he gave to him about like um, his his mother, his wife, and how she ran away and came back for them, and how you don't want to have regrets, and how he teared up. Like, I was so moved by Garrett's work, his performance rather. I don't want to call acting work. It's art, right? It's like you're part of storytelling, the tapestry of storytelling. So, um, yeah, everybody. I think it. I mean, and Carmen and Hogo, she delivers some really nice work as well as, hey Antonio, she delivered nice work as the nemesis of Madam C.J. Walker. I'm curious though, just two men on here at the moment. I felt like the I felt like the men in the film were not emasculated, but I don't feel like sometimes the way the women would speak to them was like they were little boys or something. Um, not in every instance, but I felt like in some scenes I just felt like, ugh, like, you know, these are grown men y'all are talking to, right? Like, they're not bored, they're not your sons, they're your husbands. And I just, it just felt kind of icky that you feel, I don't know if y'all feel the same way. Um, okay, so you haven't seen it, Antonio? Well, Poppy, you've seen it. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I just felt like, hey, Black Love Electric. I feel like in some scenes, interactions between the men and the women, it was like they were admonishing the men, their own husbands, like they were boys. It almost felt very 21st century. Um, and I used to be that woman in my ignorance, you know, talking to my boyfriend like he was my son, admonishing him. You know, it's like we're equals. Like, I'm not above him, but in my immaturity, that's how I communicated with him. But I feel like that happened, not consistently throughout the narrative, but in some instances. For example, like Madam C.J. Walker, where she was like, you know, berating John, her son-in-law. Granted, he was chilling sometimes, not really doing his job to the optimal level, but that's still the way you speak to a grown man, and I feel like sometimes they were emasculated in some instances. I thought that but I love that Blair was so supportive, and you know, he was supportive in action, not in just mouth talking. When he did cheat on her, sorry if I'm doing a spoiler alert, I wasn't like, oh, right on, but I was like, you know, it's a balance, right? It's a balance. You can't be so like, sometimes your blind ambition can like distract you from like being the attentive wife, and vice versa, husband. If a husband has blind ambition, he's gonna be distracted from his husband duties. You know, being attentive to their needs. You got to meet the sexual needs. You got to meet the emotional. You know, it's hard to maintain a balance. So I've never been married, so I'm speaking out of ignorance. But just I've been in relationships. Anyway, I'm getting long with it. But I enjoyed the performances. At least those three performances. Tiffany Haddish. Um, yeah. Anyway, that's it. I just want to share that most of all, I enjoyed Blair Underwood's the dimension he brought to the masculine male in the film. Okay. All right, you guys, take care. Thank you for joining me. Bye.